Let's see how much all of my lip balms cost. For the Rhode Peptide Lip Treatments, they're $18 each. I have 6 of them, so that's going to be $108.
This is every cosmetics item that I own. See, I used to be a mass overconsumer, and after a while it got to the point where my cosmetics collection looked like a beauty doomsday bunker.
Why is everything a subscription now? Most importantly, why can't we own anything anymore?
Today we're going to try to go from overconsumer to favorites only skincare edition.
New year, new me, so we're doing a little bit of cleanup, and I just want to say it's not normal to have this much skincare.
Hi, I'm Amanda, and this is Amanda Spice, where we talk about culture and trends through that one particular lens that many commentary channels skip: money. Now, lately, the more I have been researching about beauty trends, wellness culture, influencer culture, the more I have realized something that is a little bit unsettling. Consumerism nowadays, or rather modern consumerism, does not focus only on just selling new products. No, they no longer do that. Nowadays, they focus on training your mind to find flaws with your own life. Literally flaws that you didn't know existed 5 minutes ago. Because, well, once you find a problem, someone is going to sell you the solution. And once you start noticing it, you will realize that that machine is literally everywhere. Open your kitchen drawer, the chaotic one. You will find at least one gadget or tool that does one oddly specific thing. Something like peeling your carrots, or something like probably breaking an egg, a strawberry cutter, a tool that you probably bought at 1 a.m. because TikTok somehow convinced you that buying that specific tool will absolutely change your life, as if you wouldn't have been able to cut that strawberry using your regular knife that you already own. Individually, none of these purchases actually feel serious. And that right there is the genius of it, because I mean, a $4 gadget, who would feel financially reckless about buying such? Nobody thinks too hard about a $10 serum, a $7.99 subscription, but modern consumerism culture wasn't really built on massive purchases. It is the small little things that accumulate over time. It was built around hundreds of tiny, invisible purchases. Now open your bathroom cabinet, a cleanser, a different cleanser, a toner, an exfoliant, a serum for texture, a serum for glow, a serum for barrier repair, a separate cream for under eyes, as if the skin there is somehow an entirely different species. And what's fascinating is how many of these problems people genuinely didn't know they had until the internet taught them to see them. 1 week TikTok teaches you about skin barriers. The next week you're learning your pores are too visible. Words to myself, thanks to my dad for the genes of the bigger pores. Then suddenly you are standing in Sephora holding 3 products you didn't even know existed 6 months ago. That is not accidental. An enormous amount of psychology, market research, influencer advertising, trend forecasting, and algorithmic targeting goes into creating the feeling that there is always one more thing you need to optimize. Your face, your body, your productivity, your apartment, your wellness, your routine, your identity. This episode is about that machine, how modern consumerism became so good at manufacturing dissatisfaction, and why it is getting harder and harder to tell the difference. I mean, the difference between a real need and one that was carefully sold to you. At this point, I'm beginning to believe that some of you skipped that commerce class where we learned about needs and wants, because in today's society, it seems like that does not matter, and prioritizing needs over wants is no longer a thing. It all seems like theory that we were learning back in the day. For the most part of human history, products solved problems that already existed. For example, people wanted to cut objects, so of course, knives were being sold. You needed to carry water, so a container was made. The problem essentially came first, and then the solution, which was the product. Modern consumerism often works backwards. Now the product exists first, and the problem gets created afterwards. Almost like there's excess plastic. So they manufacture whatever cute pink thing they can come up with, and they create a problem for it, a problem that it can solve. I think you kind of get the vibe. And once you understand that, you begin to literally pick it up everywhere you go. A strawberry slicer exists because someone literally isolated 2 seconds of inconvenience and decided to turn it into a problem, which then turned into a product category. Because what do you mean, a strawberry slicer? Same with the egg separators, the corn strippers, specialized water bottles, tiny organizational containers for increasingly specific purposes. And the individual products themselves are almost never the point. The real product being sold is the feeling that your life could always be slightly more optimized, slightly more aesthetic, slightly more efficient, slightly more put together. I mean, I know you guys have seen the decanting videos, and that is why so much modern marketing sounds less like advertising and more like self-improvement. Not here is a product, but here is the version of yourself that you could become. And social media made this dramatically more powerful because now consumerism isn't just happening through commercials. It is happening through morning routines, restock videos, Amazon storefronts, that girl aesthetic, TikTok shop hauls, clean girl productivity culture, and influencers casually recommending 40 products while pretending they are just talking to their friends. Consumption stopped feeling like consumption. Now it feels like identity. If you don't buy it, you do not belong. And because people want to belong, they end up purchasing.
Pick out a beach waves inspired shower routine with me tonight. For some reason, I thought this new EO scent was called Beachy Waves. No, it's just beach waves. She used the perfect pina colada scent, so it's pineapple punch, that flower, and salted coconut, so we need to find a routine that matches. First, we need to pick out a shampoo and condition because I wash my hair every day, and I'm thinking this coconut herbal essences. It smells really good, but the more I use it, I'm like, is it actually really hydrating my hair? Like, I don't really know. It reminds me of the early 2000s, and that's why I use it, so. Gotta get a Dove bar soap, of course. Duh. Oh, wait, I have a candle. Girl almost got burnt. Okay, yeah, you know I have a matching coconut pina colada candle going, okay? I have my life together. Okay, we're actually doing an everything shower tonight because I need to be a naked mole rat by tomorrow. So let's pick out a scrub to exfoliate. I'm thinking, so either a coconut or a pineapple. Oh, duh, I need to do Tree Hut Pineapple. Macy actually brought this one over when she moved. Sorry, Sister Macy, I am gonna use your scrub. Okay, she looks...
Years, I have fallen victim to some serious overconsumption, and in 2026, I really want to do something about it. So I'm starting as I mean to go on and decluttering my absolutely ridiculous skincare collection, and it really is ridiculous. Absolutely nobody needs this much stuff, and I have a really bad habit of holding on to things that I genuinely could never use in a million years. And even though I've struggled with letting go of things in the past, I've actually been finding it really freeing letting things go. So going through my skincare, I did set myself a couple of rules, and my rule was I am allowed to keep up to 4 of each kind of product. So 4 moisturizers, 4 cleansers, 4 toners, that kind of thing. Because even though that still seems excessive, I don't want to be spending any more money than I need to throughout the year. So if I keep hold of 4 of each product, in my mind, I have then got enough to get me through 2026, hopefully. And alongside that, I'm going to be starting Project Pan. I'm going to do a skincare one and I'm going to do a makeup one just to keep myself accountable. I really, really don't want to fall into overconsumption any more than I already have. And I want to make sure that I am trying to get through as many products as I possibly can before opening a new one. Now, obviously, I'm very lucky and I do get sent some products from some brands. So It is going to be really, really difficult when I have to try those types of things out. But aside from that, I am planning on a no purchase rule throughout 2026 where I can. I'm trying to be realistic because my impulse control is zero. Having ADHD makes that really, really difficult, and I do buy things on impulse really, really often. But I'm going to try my hardest not to do that throughout 2026 and just get through the products that I've got. And if I do run out of a product and have to purchase one, I'm only going to buy one that I know I already love. I have a separate video coming on what I have allowed myself to keep, but that's just a little sneak peek of what the drawer looks like. So
1 million reasons why I'm starting Project Pan in 2026.
Okay, she did it. She came back. So as you remember, this was just round one. And then the swag bag was a beige suitcase full of full-size products. That was just worth $2,000 alone. And then you have all of this other item. This is actually ridiculous. This is consumerism's final boss.
All in a day's work.
So we will be pulling out our favorite items and then giving away some of these because this is just way too much for 2 people. But oh my goodness. Okay, I thought this event was low-key gonna be a bust. That is not the case.
No, it was the opposite.
Wow, good job, Mags.
Let's declutter my ridiculous skincare collection. This is a box of unopened backups, and these are 2 mostly open drawers. I use barely any of this, so 90% has to go today. I'm going to do the backup drawer and I'm going to do the cleansers in a second video. Starting off, these are all my toners and face mists. I've got 31 in total, which is just way too many. I use hardly any of these, so this is what we're left with. I'm keeping 12 of these. I use these quite a lot with my skincare tools. I like these really hydrating ones. They work so well with my Zip and my Medicube, and I'm decluttering these 19, so I either didn't use these, they broke me out, or they irritated my skin. My skin is so sensitive and acne prone that things break me out really easily. So gutted about this Ilia one. This one broke me out so bad. Next is a bit of an easy random one. So we've got all my toner pads, my micellar water that I use to take off my makeup, and the products that I use with my Zip. And this is what I'm keeping. Both of these are nearly empty, so I'll use them up quite quickly. I really like this Zip gel. I'm keeping the Medicube Zero Pore Pad, and I'm also keeping the Needly toner pads. These are my 2 favorite ones. And then this is what we're decluttering, this Zip complex. I don't like it, irritates my face. And I'm also decluttering the Abib toner pads. I think I've just had these for a while. I don't think I'm going to use them. So 4 products decluttered. Next is serums, and we're starting with 37. And this is what I'm left with. So I'm keeping 9 and I'm decluttering 28. So again, my skin is so sensitive, so acne prone. These either didn't do anything at all, like the vitamin C ones I just didn't find worked, or they broke me out, or I just didn't like them because...
Now I have to give the turns when they are deserved, because beauty culture is certainly one of the most sophisticated and just astounding version of this machine. Because beauty marketing figured out something incredibly profitable. If you can convince someone that their beauty or their appearance needs constant improvement, then you have earned yourself a customer for life. The beauty of modern beauty marketing is how microscopic the problems have become. I mean, it used to be just wrinkles, but nowadays it is not just wrinkles. Now it's texture, it's redness, brightness, firmness, tone, elasticity, under eye darkness, smile lines, glass skin, pore visibility, facial symmetry, preventative aging. Problems become smaller and smaller because smaller problems create more product categories. And social media accelerated this beyond anything previous generations ever experienced. People now examine their faces under ring lights, just like I'm doing right now, HD cameras and beauty filters constantly. Features that would have been considered completely normal 10 years ago are now being framed as flaws needing correction. And beauty culture online is especially powerful because it disguises itself as empowerment. It is framed as self-care, self-investment, confidence, wellness, femininity, which makes the consumption feel emotionally justified. And to be clear, there is nothing wrong with enjoying beauty products. I mean, hello. There is nothing wrong with skincare or makeup. The issue is when an industry focuses and financially benefits from constantly keeping you slightly dissatisfied forever, because today it's your pores, tomorrow you don't have glass skin, today you're being told mate is in, tomorrow you need oily glass skin. What next? But then again, satisfaction is negative for having recurring revenue. A customer who feels fine doesn't panic buy products every other month. Now, let's look at another facet. Let's talk about fashion.
Fast fashion is the planet. In the 1980s, the average American bought 12 new items of clothing every year. Today, consumers buy an average of 68 new pieces of clothing a year. There's already enough clothing on the planet to dress the next 6 generations, yet we keep producing more. The fashion industry contributes to 10% of global greenhouse gas emissions and 20% of the world's water pollution. Not to mention that washing synthetic fabrics is a major cause of microplastics in the ocean. So the next time you fall for a micro trend or buy a cheap top to only wear once, think about the price on the planet first.
Fashion runs a slightly different version of the same system. Fashion doesn't just sell clothes anymore, it actually sells relevance. And relevance expires incredibly quickly online. I mean, you can literally see trend cycles burn out in real life. 1 month, everybody is dressing clean girl this, clean girl that. The next month, it is mob wife. The next month, it is JKF Kennedy's wife. The next month, quite luxury. Then hyper femininity, and we're back again at minimalism. The cycles continue to change. What's distinct this time is the speed. Trends have always existed, even through the beginning of time, but this time it seems like the trends are fast-paced. I mean, trends used to move seasonally. Now they move as quick as the algorithm. That is because fast fashion companies realize something extremely profitable. The quicker the trends move, the more often people buy. As a result of that, clothing stopped being built around durability. It started being built for replacement. I do not know how many people that I've seen online that have expressed that they do not repeat their clothes. Like, they wear their clothes one time, their outfit one time, and they're never going to repeat the same outfit again. They have to buy a whole new outfit. Now, if that isn't consumerism pro max, I don't know what is. And this replacement is not just physically, it is also psychologically. A perfectly wearable outfit can suddenly feel dated simply because the internet collectively moved on. And social media intensified the pressure because the people are now performing personal branding constantly. Your clothes are no longer just clothes, they are signals about taste, class, status, discipline, wealth, femininity, individuality. Although I don't know about individuality, because it now seems like we are all wearing uniforms. Everybody is dressing the same nowadays. However, it also can signal trend awareness, which is why overconsumption online often disguises itself as self-expression. But increasingly, a lot of people aren't actually expressing individuality. They are purchasing participation. How many trends have you guys seen come and go, and people buy these luxury expensive items only for them to come back online with those regrets? Now, the subscription economy. Now, raise your hand if you have ever tried a service, an application on trial period, and then forgot to cancel that subscription. I'm guilty as charged.
Cancel your subscriptions. Every single subscription you have, cancel it. These companies have gotten so greedy, and for some reason, when all these executives of all these companies have their meetings, the consensus on how to increase their profit, instead of developing new ideas, providing new features, something that would benefit us, the consumer, the customer, their consensus is always, let's just raise the monthly subscription price. That always works because they're not going to cancel their subscriptions. We have to start canceling our subscriptions. We have to start showing these companies that we're going to cancel our subscriptions if prices get too high, because they provide nothing in return. I can't think of the last time that I saw a price hike on a subscription-based service that I have where they provided me with a new feature that constituted the price hike. They never do. All they do is raise the subscription price and provide us nothing in return. cancel your subscriptions.
Anyone tell me why literally everything is a subscription now? Because the other day I saw a TikTok of a woman who spent like $300 on a printer. And it was only after buying the printer that she found out she literally had to spend more money every single month to keep that printer running. This is not a music subscription company. This is not wanting to watch more TV. This is a fucking office supply. And the scariest part about this is I feel like it's not going away. Like, I genuinely wonder in the future what's going to happen when prices get so high that we just can't afford to own anything ourselves anymore. Are we gonna start having to rent literally everything we have? Anyone tell me why?
We are being actually fleeced by companies. The last 2 cars that I owned had remote start capabilities from my remote. It was something that came with the car. I never had to pay, like continue paying extra for it. We got a used Toyota Sienna this year. It's 2021. And I asked about remote start and they're like, yeah, you can do it. And I was like, great, show me how to do it for my key. And they're like, no, not that way. You're gonna download our Toyota app and you're gonna pay $10 a month so that you can remote start your car. No. This is the part, I love technology, and then I'm also like, this is screwing us because they are starting to be able to charge us more for things that used to just come with a car. This isn't news, it's just something.
Now, this economy is one that creeps in without people even realizing what exactly is happening. And by the end of each year, when you check your expenses, I promise you, you often won't realize what just hit you. And personally, I think one of the smartest things that consumer or modern consumerism ever invented is subscriptions. Because subscriptions psychologically disappear. I mean, you can easily notice spending $300 once, but you barely notice $8.99 repeatedly. In subscription for streaming, for meditation, for fitness, meal apps, premium memberships, cloud storage, productivity tools, tiny monthly payments quietly accumulate into hundreds or thousands annually. And companies know most people will not actively audit small recurring expenses. And that's why cancellation processes are often deliberately annoying, because modern consumerism isn't always trying to make you say yes. Sometimes it just needs you to stop paying attention. And before you realize it, you've been paying subscriptions for 20 apps that you never ever use. The reason why this entire machine works effectively is because, believe it or not, human beings are actually pretty decent at evaluating larger decisions. Cars, houses, big vacations, major investments. We really think carefully about those, but the small little purchases bypass our internal alarm systems completely. And digital platforms made this even worse, in fact dangerous, because shopping no longer even feels like shopping anymore. Now it feels like watching TikTok, scrolling content, getting inspired, in turn following trends and improving yourself. Because believe me or not, as you doom scroll through TikTok, subconsciously you are participating in window shopping, and before you realize it, you're on Amazon, you're on eBay, and you're already purchasing these things. Entertainment and advertising merged together. That's why influencer marketing became so powerful, because people naturally lower their guards when something feels personal, casual, or emotionally relatable. A creator saying something like, guys, I'm obsessed with this, doesn't psychologically register the same as traditional advertisement, regardless of the fact that financially it is functioning just as that. And once algorithms have learned your insecurities, your preferences, your aspirations, and spending habits, consumerism becomes frighteningly personalized. The machine doesn't market to women anymore or young people. Now it markets specifically to your fears, your habits, your aesthetic preferences, your ambitions, your loneliness, and your identity. So many people online have expressed that they they could have searched something on Google, and before you realize it, when you open TikTok, when you go on Instagram, you go on X, suddenly the thing that you searched for in your Google search is popping up on all these social media platforms. That is the power of the algorithm. And unfortunately, in this era, it is being used as a tool to promote consumerism. So everywhere you turn, you are being targeted, because on average, we spend a lot of time on our phones than the people that came before us. And just like every episode on this channel, eventually we get to the same question: who profits? And I can promise you, not you and not me, it's companies. Companies producing cheap quality and rapidly replaceable products. Platforms taking cuts from these constant transactions. Of course, influencers monetizing recommendation culture. The subscription businesses designed around passive renewals, where you don't even have to do anything to renew the subscription. That's who is benefiting. The advertising system that are optimized to keep you dissatisfied forever. Do you notice what doesn't generate much money? It's durability, contentment, repairability, using things for a long time, feeling like you already have enough. Enough is economically inconvenient, of course, for the money makers. A consumer who feels complete is significantly less profitable than one constantly chasing self-improvement. And it's important that I say this. None of this means that you should never buy anything, or that skincare is evil, makeup is evil, wellness is evil, or fashion is evil. A lot of these products actually do improve people's lives, and that's what makes this machine effective. It wraps itself around real desires: to feel attractive, to feel wealthy, to feel healthy, to feel productive, to feel organized, confident, productive, accepted, comfortable. The issue is how aggressively modern consumer culture exploits these desires, because increasingly companies are no longer waiting for needs to appear naturally. They are actively manufacturing dissatisfaction at a very large scale. And the most useful question that you can ask yourself now probably is not, do I need this product? But did I actually have this problem before somebody sold this product to me? Sometimes the advertisement doesn't directly sell you the product. It sells you the insecurity first before it presents the solution. I'm Amanda. Thank you very much for watching to the end. Do not forget to subscribe, and see you in the next one.
I just woke up. I don't know how I feel about this. So here's my issue. Buying some stuff to organize your house is fine, obviously, if you use it. But a lot of times, influencers will say, like, you just have to buy it one time, and then you never have to buy it again. That is not the case here. This is just a different set of spice organizers, and I'm sorry, but these look completely fine to me. I don't think there was any need to completely replace them. Like, you can super glue a cap back on and like fix a label pretty easily. So, you know, just keep that in mind when you see content on social media. You do not need to replace all your spice jars or whatever just because there's a square shape instead of a cylinder. Obviously, this is her job. This is what she does, and that's okay. But you yourself can be a mindful consumer and not do this.